the Bay Area Kei. I am here today with designer Rachel and Michelle of Belladonna.
Hello.
Really quick pronoun check for everyone, please, if you don't. So quick pronoun check. You guys are both she, her, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, making sure. We like to check in. So we're gonna let everybody kind of wander in. We might have some small technical difficulties and might have to add Michelle back in. That's okay. So we'll give a few minutes for everyone to get. Yeah, I dressed extra kawaii just for Michelle. I was just saying that. I was like, this is the sweetest I've dressed ever in a very long time. I clearly have no hair accessories because I don't own any. They're all black. So I was like, shit, I've got one flower. I don't even have two. I'm disappointed.
What am I doing? Let's add more flowers over here. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, no, that doesn't help it. That doesn't help it.
You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Okay. Whew. All right, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So we'll give us just another minute or two for everyone to wander on in. Are you guys excited about Ursa Major or are you stressed out?
Oh, no, I think we're set to go. I know we're not doing anything super crazy, so.
Yeah, like all of the work is already done, so it's like, okay, we're just sewing along. Mostly Rachel's just sewing along.
I know, I'm very jealous of your overlock back there.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I've got
industrial sewing space.
Yeah.
Well, and then back there, well, there's a sleeping cat, but also my industrial blind hammer.
We do love ourselves a good sleeping cat. It's very important. All right. So my first question for both of you guys, please first introduce yourselves, and then tell us how you guys met. I'd love to hear that.
You going first, or am I going?
All right. I don't know. Okay, I'll go. I'm Rachel. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm living here in Richmond, Virginia.
And hi, I'm Michelle. I'm here in a little bit south of Baltimore, Maryland. So for those of you who don't know us, we run the business together in separate states like crazy people.
Now, it didn't start off that way, but so how we met?
When we started.
I'm gonna say how we met. We were in middle school, so we used to be in the same place.
Oh my God, we were babies.
Long time acquainted. Although we were not friends in middle school, we just knew each other.
No. Yeah. No, Rachel and I were both in smart kid classes, and so that's how we kind of knew of each other. And I told Rachel I was going to do this, but the first thing Rachel ever said to me, I have to act it out because it is so ridiculous. This is what happened. So we were in class together and she was sitting in front of me. And so I'm sitting there, in class, doing class things, minding my own little middle school business. And Rachel's sitting in front of me. So she's got her back like this. And she goes like this. I am meatball.
And I
didn't talk to that girl again.
And then I didn't talk to her because she was the weirdo. No,
I was the weird kid in middle school. And see, I did that kind of crap to everybody. That's why I don't remember doing it to Michelle.
Yeah. Fair. Absolutely fair.
Yeah. But then we did, because we were in smart kid classes together, we had to apply to be in a special advanced high school, and we both got in, and then that's when we started becoming friends. And
we sat in the back of the class. We were like the cool kids, except we were just a bunch of weirdos.
I mean,
we were more like
weirdos.
The alt goth kids, because we would have been goth if we could have been, and we had another friend who was totally goth.
Yeah, we could have shopped at Hot Topic, but we weren't really into that aesthetic. But
Right,
I feel like if Hot Topic looked the way it does now, then we definitely would have been wearing Hot Topic clothes.
It's true.
Yeah.
It definitely got more like kawaii vibes than it did when
Yeah.
we were youngins.
Yeah.
Although I've always been sad that I never got the Hot Topic Lolita dress, you know. I was very jealous of that. Oh my god.
Oh no.
So how did you guys discover Lolita fashion?
Well, so first of all, we've been sewing and cosplaying together and going to conventions. And that was kind of like just, all the cosplay and the sewing and the this and that. And Michelle said, "Hey, watch this anime with me. Let's make costumes. We're going to go to cons." And then it was several years of cons before we discovered Lolita.
Got it. So that's how you guys like learned how to sew, was through cosplay?
We were both individually taught by our family members when we were like kids, and Rachel, to begin with, was more into Renaissance fair. So like when we started sewing, I sewed really weird clothes for myself, and she sewed like Ren Fair stuff until we got into anime and then went into that nerddom.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like two routes into like Lolita. It's either like historical fashion or weebs. Like there is no, those are your two answers.
Right.
Usually
we were like
both. Yeah, it's usually a combination of both, but like almost everybody is like, at first I was into historical clothing.
Right. So we grew up in Fredericksburg, which is really big into their like Revolutionary War era history museums and all the living history. And I used to go to that a lot when I was a little kid, and I would always take all the like hand sewing classes of like, make this little hat, make this little like cross stitch sampler, and I used to do all that kind of weird stuff. So yeah, that kind of introduced me into garment sewing.
Awesome. So when did you guys decide to become a business? Talk about that.
Well,
you
start that.
Yeah. So, what year was it? Like 2011, I think. I saw the Otakon Lolita fashion show, and that like really inspired me. I was like at this really lame retail job, and I was really bored with my life. I had just graduated from college a couple years before, and like recession was mad crazy, and I was just like, I'm gonna just make my own Lolita brand because I couldn't afford none of the actual brand at the time. So
right. And I had been sewing my own Lolita for myself as well.
Yeah, and Rachel had sewn. I mean, did you make your first dress that year? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I made my first dress the same year that you started your brand, because you were like, I'm going to sew Lolita and start a brand.
Yeah, and so I was, and at the time I was living in Maryland, and I was just like, I'm gonna like be my own designer, and the end. And I kind of like absorbed everything on Lolibrary and was just like, give me all the info, and like F yeah Lolita, and like obviously LiveJournal, and Rachel started coming up and she was like, I'm gonna model, and I'm like, that sounds great. And then she would help like finish stuff like sewing, because I would never actually be done with anything the day before, so obviously she kind of assisted with that.
Yeah, it was like awesome up mad midnight sewing up until 3 a.m. night before photo shoot kind of deal.
I mean, just to like, as an aside, you guys are still doing birth. Some of the designers that I used to work with in some fashion shows who would like have their sewing machine out an hour before the show, and I'd be like, we gotta go.
Yeah. It's very much that make it work moment.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So,
oh man.
Then I moved down to Richmond. Rachel and I were living together. My previous business was with my ex, so it was a partnership. And I was like, well, obviously I left you, so this is done. And then we opened Belladonna together.
Yep. And I had been working in I guess, well, yeah, I was working in an industrial sewing room, sewing draperies and bedding and like pillows and all that kind of stuff. And then, but also had been working, it wasn't exactly industrial, but we had industrial machines making purses and stuff. And so I was like, all right, I'm ready to sew. Let's sew. And then Michelle was like, we're going to do this whole Lolita thing together. We're living together. So I quit the purse job and just worked at the drapery workroom and then doing Belladonna. And we thought for long and hard coming up with our name, throwing around all kinds of stuff.
That part's really hard. I don't hear what anyone says. It's always just like you're second guessing yourself forever, and then you're just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna stick with it.
Yeah. Well, and then as soon as we were like, yeah, that one's great, then Michelle's like, let's Google the connotations, and we were like, oh, porn star. Yeah, whatever.
I love it. Fantastic. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, but that was 2013 that I think that we officially formed Belladonna.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So we formed Belladonna. You guys are living together. And so kind of like walk me through how the division of like labor works a little bit. I think a lot of people want to know how, when you're in a partnership, how you guys, who does what.
Mm-hmm. Now I do a lot of the sewing. It used to be both of us together, especially when we were living together. We both sewed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of did what the other one hated. So, like, Rachel has, like, really bad executive dysfunction. So, if I hand her an already cut out dress, she's good.
I'm good. She would be like,
yeah,
what are you working on right now? And I'd be like, oh, I'm not working. Let me start working. And then I'd work for like 4 hours straight with no break.
Yeah. It's so funny when like you have ADHD or any of those things, and you're just like, you can't get started. Then when you're started, you're in. You're in. But getting started is a bitch.
Mm-hmm. And I do really still hate cutting out things. So to this day, Michelle cuts out things and then I go and pick them up from her house.
Oh, nice.
Or sometimes I mail them.
Yeah, like recently. I was like, I'm running out of stuff to do. And she's like, I'll mail you some stuff.
Yeah. So
and then it sat in the DC sort plant for 9 days.
Ooh,
yeah,
well,
I'm not missing. That's all, it was like, it wasn't a lot monetarily, but it was a lot work-wise. I sent her a whole bunch of our orders, of their bodices and stuff.
That's a lot of time. Yeah, that's a lot of time lost. I really hate when stuff like that happens. And thankfully, I think like with indie designers, because they realize we're so small, a lot of our customers are really forgiving. And they're just like, I get it, problems happen, and it's like we're lucky. We're so lucky as indie designers that people are just like, I get it. I don't think I've ever really had a big problem with like, I have to push this deadline out like a week, guys, things happen.
Yeah.
And it definitely happens to all of us because we are so small. A lot of our suppliers ignore us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you want to buy 100 of a thing? You're cute. I don't care.
For like other stuff, I've always done our like advertisements and our graphics and textile designs, and Rachel does a lot of the like brute labor.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I got the guns.
Yeah, she really does though. I mean, it's hilarious. We've always said she has man hands because she just like obliterates sewing needles. Like she'll just be hand sewing and then she'll break one and she'll pick up another one and she'll do it again.
Keep going.
And like I don't even know.
And yesterday I just like decimated an egg while trying to pick it up out of an egg carton. So it's fine.
You strong. you big strong.
Yeah, so I've been kind of like the convention coordinator. I have the trailer that I attach to my car, and we load it up with all the grid wall, and then I'll go scoop up Michelle on the way to a convention and get all the like merchandise and stuff, all the product that we're gonna sell, and then we head on out and you know, and then I do a lot of the setup for the grid wall and all that, while Michelle's like, I'm going to organize earrings.
Yeah.
Well, like the little stuff's really annoying too, though. So like, it's good. I definitely when we do our events, like I have a few people who are more accessories designers too, and they're like, "I'll take care of the earrings." I'm like, "Good." I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Whereas I do the stuff, like I'm standing on the ladder and hanging up the sign and all the wigs high, you know, 8 feet in the sky, and
yeah, I think you and I would relate on that for sure. Speaking of cons, is there anything that you've even applied to for this year, the year of our Lord 2020? What? One?
Yeah. We're going to NecoCon
in
the end of, or it's the beginning of November. So, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling November for myself, so I totally understand. Yeah, they're supposed to be doing Royal Vegas, so we're still on board for that. So.
Yeah.
My fingers are crossed that this country can keep his shit together.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can, but yeah, at least NecoCon is really tiny, so we're hoping, you know, small con.
Yeah, it's one of those cons that because of where it is, it's kind of hard to get to. So it's basically just like local people. So it stays around like 4,000 or 5,000 people, but you know, we're kind of local, so if we don't go, we'll be missed.
Oh yeah. I totally feel that. Yeah. I mean, we're still supposed to be doing the holiday pop-up, guys. Love to have your stuff. We'll get there eventually. So we talked about how you guys work together. Is there any time like you guys disagree on what to work on? Like in the design process at all?
Honestly, yeah, Rachel and I have a really good, like, I don't know, if we don't like something, we'll just tell the other one that, and we're very real with each other. Like, we don't have to sugarcoat nothing. I'm just like, that's ugly. Or that's a stupid idea.
And sometimes I'll be like, Michelle, really? Maybe you've gone too far this time?
Well, what's really funny too, though, is like Rachel does not like my super ridiculous, sugary, tacky aesthetic, but what she's found over the years is that it sells. So I will show her a design and she will go, I hate that. That'll sell.
Honestly, that's me talking to myself.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's ugly. Let's do it.
That's often me talking to myself when I'm like, oh, I would never wear that. It's going to be great.
Well, but then, like,
exactly.
Eventually, most of the time, I figure out how to make it work for me, so that if, you know, Michelle has the craze, especially with Ice Cream Shop, like I was like, wow, that's a look. But the more I've looked at it, I'm like, yeah,
really cute one. I do like
black in there, and maybe, you know, black lace. I don't know. Like, let's darken this up a little bit, and now we're good.
I mean, it's a super cute design for sure. I mean, again, I love things that are like really cute and sweet. They just don't always look great on me. So I feel you. I'm much more of like a classic gothic girl, but there's nothing wrong with it. It just, it goes, that's not something I would like, but that definitely has a market and has a person. It's just not me.
And for like some of the prints that we haven't released, I know Michelle did by herself, but like when we were designing Darwin, it was a lot of like me standing behind her chair going, oh yeah, that's a really good color for that, or why don't you make this a little bit of like a slightly different tone, you know, we were kind of like collaborating pretty well together. And we used to have like a wine and dine design night when we lived together.
I like that. That's super fun.
Yeah, we would like cook dinner and bust out a bottle of wine and then like eat and then just start drawing stuff.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Didn't Darwin sell really, really well for you guys? Like, wasn't that one of your best selling? How many units do you think you did?
About 60.
I think it was in the 70s.
Wow. Yeah, for a small indie designer, like that's huge. Good.
And
good
especially
job.
for us, like 5 years ago, like I would say Ice Cream Shop were blowing that out of the water, but but you know, for 5 years ago, that was a lot.
Well, and also like that's more of like a custom print than Ice Cream Shop is, so like it's harder to source that kind of fabric stuff. and like it's more expensive. So yeah, you know, yes, ice cream shop might be more popular and like, you know, might be selling more for you guys right now, but I feel like it's, I don't know, it's something different when it's your own print. It feels like really different.
Yeah.
So congratulations, you guys.
Honestly, like, I've never really thought that we would ever sell a solid type of dress. Like, you know how people would always say, oh, indie brands have to be this and indie brands have to be that, or I'll only buy an indie brand if it's a print. So I never thought we would have this kind of design that would sell this well. Like, this is like mind-blowing to both of us, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great design. It's a lot of labor, I can tell, but it's really, really cute, guys. So,
well, I think what appeals to a lot of people is that it is so super customizable. So it's like, what do you want? We'll make this exactly the way
people
you
love
want
that.
it. And
so.
they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. People absolutely.
But even with that, like, a lot of people are buying the one that looks just like the sample. So
people love to be able to see something, and they have a hard time visualizing. Even though I know you guys have a really super cute little dressmaker, some people just like, you know, to see a thing in person, and be like, I want that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. I noticed you guys started doing a lot of like live streams lately, including the launch of your more recent your thing, your release for Ursa Major. God, my brain is fried. Milkshake Shop. I named it. Look at me.
There you go.
I did it. I got one brain cell and it's working. How did you guys decide to start doing, I guess, the Patreon, and how is that going for you guys?
Well, I guess I'll take this one. We started the Patreon mostly because I was, oh crap, I don't have a job anymore. I guess I'm working for Belladonna now. And let's figure out how to generate some, you know, and just make it interesting for people, kind of bring in more of an audience. And actually, we started a Discord channel, and a lot of the Patreons people are on the Discord, and we do like little, almost like a Discord giveaway for like answering questions on Instagram, or you know, did you guess the question correctly, that kind of thing. And it's been kind of fun now to have that community in the Discord of people that we routinely are like talking to and kind of with, and the live streams are some of those same people are logging in and chatting with us on there, and that's been really fun to just kind of, hey, this is what I'm working on right now, or, you know, come join us while I try and fix these horrible wigs, and, you know, just something to hang out and kind of get to know our fans and customers a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. I don't know if you guys clicked on the comment tab. That's the live chat for the...
Oh.
Yeah. So feel free to look that out. I'm just reading to see what people are saying. And there's people also post pictures of their furry assistant pets.
Oh, so. Yes, we do have a furry assistant and behind the scenes on the Discord. So a lot of times I'll post pictures of, oh, look at my janky stream setup today. It's some duct tape webcam to a wall.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm filming a tutorial right now for Fanime. I'm supposed to be doing like how to shirt a dress. God help me, but like the camera is on a boom and it's like right at chest height, so I have to like sew really far away from myself.
Yes, I've been filming some sewing tutorials to go along with the Patreon as well, and I'm just like, what is camera angle do I you know, I got one of those like octopus tripods. I'm like, do I make a necklace out of it? Like,
I know. Then you're like, oh, it's really shaky though. Yeah. So I've got like a boom. Like it's like a scissor. It's called a scissor mic stand, but I adapted it for camera. And so like there's like this arch. So there's like a place where I stick my arm through to like, you know, like reverse, and I'm just like, don't hit the camera, don't hit the camera, don't hit the camera every time.
Oh my God. I have been going through a lot of that myself. I completely understand.
Mood. Oh my God.
This is so hilarious because meanwhile over here I have like an actual overhead mount that I got for doing nail vids, which of course I haven't actually done. But like I have like you know, it just comes over like this. You attach your camera here. Great.
But don't hit
get some.
Don't hit the table, because then it just jiggles everything.
Yeah, you have a really solid table.
Yeah, that's my problem. I've got a very wiggly wobbly table.
I can't help you with that.
Speaking of nails, tell us about how you got into nails, and what you're doing with nails now.
So, getting into nails, actually going back to NekoCon, because that's just such a chill con. We always have customers who come back and have, lengthy conversations with us, because that's the kind of con it is. And when one of them, she came in and she, looked at a lot of my resin jewelry, because I've been doing UV resin jewelry for, I don't know, 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
And she goes, why don't you guys do press-ons? And I was like, that's a good question, girl. So I go home, and at the time, I had started to have migraines every day from October to April, which is now a yearly thing for whatever dumb reason. But I was on medical leave from Amazon, where I used to work. And I was like, well, I can't do anything except sit here. So why don't I figure out how to make press-ons? And that went into an entire hole that I was like, oh, no. And then I started doing my own nails, and I found out I could do my own nails even if I had really crazy migraines, which led into finally going and doing a nail cosmetology program. I got out of Amazon. Everything is cool. I work at a salon now. So even if I have, I had a rough night the other night, I could still go into work and do what I needed to do. And I didn't have to leave early. I didn't have to, have major issues. One day I took my beta blocker twice by accident. So I go in to work and I told my boss, I was like, hey, dude, I'm not feeling so great today, but you know what? I still made it that day. I was okay. And I think that's, I don't know, I needed a job that I could do on the regular, and one that wasn't so bad like Amazon. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. Does this make sense?
You're making sense. I mean, I think I have a little bit better background on so you were an Amazon warehouse worker, right? That's a very much standing and very physically intense job. And you have some medical health issues that make it really hard to stand for long periods of time. And now you get to do a job where you get to sit, and it's not a stressful work environment where you have to get the thing done because you're pretty much part of the literal machine.
I mean, it's a little stressful at the salon because now they've started booking us back to back, and I'm like, I have 1 hour with you. Let's go.
Sure, but at the end of the day, it's not like Amazon has these quotas that you have to meet. And so I think it's even if you have to stay a little bit late, I think you're dealing with actual humans. It's a little different. So I think
it's definitely it's totally different. Yeah, if I'm 5 minutes late, Amazon's going to fire somebody over that. But the salon is just yes, make us more money, and I'm like, okay.
They don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you got some press on nails now for Belladonna, which makes you guys kind of unique. I know there's some eyelash brands and stuff like that, but I've not seen any press-on nail brandos, so I think it's really sweet.
Yeah, other than
there's a lot now, but there weren't before. Quarantine-wise, a lot of nail techs were like, okay, how do I make press-ons? Because they couldn't work.
Right.
But even with that, there aren't a lot of the kawaii aesthetic ones in the US in general, overall. So that has been a good time for me coming into it in Maryland because I really didn't have any competition in that niche at all.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You're the one. You do the cute shit. It's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know we talked a little bit, briefly, we mentioned the wigs. And I know you guys sell some wigs, right, on Belladonna?
Yeah.
Why do you guys, I'm sorry, I've got something in my eye. Why do you guys think wigs are so important for J fashion? Both y'all got wigs on. I got my boring normal hair, but
I don't know that they're 100% important, but they do make it easy to achieve a certain look without spending hours on your own hair, having the ability to even do that, what have you. Because like sometimes I'm like, well, I can't make my hair look like that. Plop a wig on it, And recently I personally have been doing more of my own hair just because it's real long and I can, but there's no reason, other than just the look I want to achieve at any one given time. I think that's what makes the wigs so easy, is you can achieve any look with just finding the right wig.
Any thoughts, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, my main thing with wearing wigs from the beginning was just that my hair is black, and in order to get it to be a color, that was a lot, like financially, that was a lot of time. While I was at Amazon, I didn't want to concentrate on none of that, just because, you go in there and you get all hot and sweaty, and then you have to wash your hair every day. Like, that was just not a thing that was going to happen. Nowadays, I mean, under this, my whole head is a giant rainbow. The thing is, it's like a red, orange, yellow, teal, like dark purple rainbow. And that doesn't really go with the ridiculous pastel creation that I am wearing. So I put this wig on so that I could very quickly change my hair color from a rainbow to a different pastel mess.
Absolutely. I think another good thing is just kind of to get rid of some of the stigma behind people wearing wigs. I know there's always like, oh, she's wearing a wig. I think what's nice about the Lily community is there isn't that. Like everyone's like, oh, I like your wig. That's a good color on you. Like it's a lot very positive. Unfortunately, I've got like massive heads, so it's really hard for me to wear wigs. But I'm super supportive of it. I think it's great. It is a fun way to be able to quickly change your hair. And I have a wig from you guys. It's one of the few ones that I like actually can squeeze on my head.
Yeah, that is one thing about the Bright Lily wigs is they are like a decent size. Whereas like this one, I think it's from Dreamholic, but they're like all of the Chinese brand wigs are tiny. Like tiny.
Yeah. You had a big head, so especially with big hair.
Yeah, we've had all variety of people buy our wigs and say they're comfortable, and small people, large-headed people, like what any kind of person. We like, oh yeah, this is a good comfy wig, and we're like, yeah, great, we love it.
Yeah, it's one of the few ones that I actually wear with any regularity. The rest, I'm just like, I put this on so I could look cute for this photo. Get it off me. You guys have great wigs. I do love them. So Michelle, I see you're wearing the new dress.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it. And I love that it's rainbow. It's almost June. Do we want to talk about Pride at all?
I mean, like last year we started out the KatsuCon fashion show was like an entire Pride show, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. I mean, I'm hella gay. Rachel's like, I don't know, not the most straight. So
that's a great way of putting it. Not quite.
Not always great. Yeah,
she's an ambiguous, straightish kind of person. But we've always been like big about supporting the gay community, and especially with that runway, it was really nice to be not just have like an inclusively LGBTQ runway, but it was also very much racially inclusive, size inclusive. The only thing that we really didn't get to show off, because anime conventions, it's really hard to show visible disability on a stage because you have to make it up this really rickety, tiny stairway to get onto a stage. So that makes it really kind of hard to get someone who is wheelchair.
Right. We did have someone say, hey, could I model for you? I am a wheelchair user. We were like, yes, but
how?
Get on stage?
I get it. Thanks. Yeah, luckily.
With that.
Yeah, that just sucks. I luckily Fanime didn't, unfortunately we don't have a runway at Fanime, but at the same time we don't have a runway at Fanime, so we've had one time we had a wheelchair user. I thought that was really great. Yeah. But I do get it. Like it's not your limitations, it's like what the con gives you. You're just like, neat.
Yeah.
Right.
So instead, you just get my invisibly ill self.
I know, God, right?
Yeah.
There's so many hidden disabilities, so little does everyone know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm very excited to see your new roughly confection there. I don't know what else to call it. It's so frilly. It's amazing.
I know. There's just so many
Oh my
things
goodness.
to look at. So
I know, it's just like
good.
it's very like tactile looking. Like I want to touch, you know?
Oh yeah. She finished it and was like, wow, this is like a cake.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I want to touch it. Like a really like ooh. Like a weirdo. Hold on just a second. My husband is playing video games in the room and he's starting to shout. So I'm gonna go close the door. So excuse me for just a moment.
Yeah. My husband removed my 3-year-old from the house entirely. He was like, hey, let's go to Target.
Yeah, I don't know what he's playing, but I can hear him being like, oh, you gotta move closer to the thing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. As I was telling Michelle, my husband took the 3-year-old out of the house entirely.
You know.
Yeah.
And you know, we maybe should talk about that. I forgot to put that in here. Is what is life like as a Lolita mom and a business owner?
You know, it's funny because I know she would dress up with me. I just am like, nah, that's too much hassle.
Yeah, my brother just had a baby niece, and they're like, you gonna make her some cute clothes, and I was like,
no.
Like, okay, unless you can make it in an hour, I don't want to make it because they're gonna grow out of it next week anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why am I gonna spend 1,000 years making some dress?
Yeah, that's kind of definitely how I feel about it. Even if I'm like touring into it, you know, I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, but otherwise, it's not for me. It's not been bad. I've had a babysitter that she went to before I stopped working at my other job anyway, and so it's just kind of like a continuation. Go to your babysitter, but babysitter is moving at the end of next week, so this summer is going to be super fun.
You're going to learn some new things about time management.
Oh
no.
But then she goes to preschool in the fall, so yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well.
I asked her, when is Cora gonna start sewing? She needs to start, making her own cashier.
Right. She did ask me to teach her how to knit the other day.
Oh, cute.
And then she was just like,
that's super cute.
With her knitting.
That's super cute. Do you do other fiber arts besides?
I knit a little and crochet a little, and it's one of those like I'm primarily a seamstress, but I dabble in everything.
Yeah, absolutely. People always like assume though it's really funny like the people who sew can do other fiber arts, and I'm like that is not true.
No, not the same skill at all.
No, I was like, don't look at me and ask like if I can knit because I cannot.
Yeah.
No, there will be no knitting here. So I always think it's really great when people do have those crossover skills. I think that's really fantastic, but I'm not the one. Oh my god. So real talk, what are some of the struggles? I know like I talked a little bit about Michelle, you have some health issues and you've got the kiddo. What are some other struggles that are your struggles as an indie designer? We all have different ones.
I mean, like, where do you even start?
Taxes. That's where you start. Taxes.
Yeah. We were going over these questions and she just yelled, taxes.
I know. Everyone, like, I think it's really funny because, like, Jessica or Up 6, we always like, you really hate taxes, don't you? I'm like, listen. I cannot express enough. And I like that Michelle posted on Facebook asking a question about taxes, and all of the indie friends were all like, I got a CPA for that shit.
Meanwhile, every year we painstakingly go through our bank statement. and then go, how do you do estate taxes? IDK, man.
So I want to say though, like back when we started, I did all of our bookkeeping and taxes and stuff. So this year, Rachel did it, and that was amazing because I just sat back like, hey, now you know how I feel.
Well, okay, so we did
awful.
Was it right at the end of 2019? We did meet with a CPA.
Yeah.
Because we were just a general partnership, and we decided that we needed to be an LLC. So we were like, how should we go about doing this? And the CPA was trying to give us, some helpful suggestions. And then she was looking at our taxes and going, you've not been doing this right. You don't need to do these things. And Michelle's like, yeah, I don't know. I just guessed, man.
I feel you though. That's why it's like I was like, here's the paperwork. You do it. Yeah, if it's wrong, it's your fault, and then I won't feel guilty about it.
Yeah. So then Michelle was like, well, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing to do it right. And long ago, I had taken some business courses and like super intro accounting. And I was like, I think I know what she's talking about. Let me do it and we'll see. And then I'm like, I think I got at least the federal right. I don't know.
Yeah, for real. I definitely feel like being a creative does not mean you're good at this part of the business.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah.
So besides taxes.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would say part of the issue is just us not living, at least in the same city, being a two-person team. Mm-hmm. And we do have Michelle's girlfriend, Megan, doing a lot of stuff for us, like on the web. And then we have our friend Sam, who's our manager now, that we're like kind of help keeps us on track and does convention stuff for us.
Yeah, I see Sam in the chat actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Sam's like a huge help because I was doing a lot of the coordination and talking to people and stuff. But once I started having health issues, that like kind of went downhill a lot. So Sam definitely, she's in the same boat of being also an ill person. But between the two of us, we get stuff done.
Yep. Anybody who ever tries to claim that people like with any sort of disabilities are lazy, I'd laugh and then cry and then laugh some more. Like they work really hard all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The difference is like Sam might be doing it at 3 a.m. because she's just got a wacky timeline.
But insomnia.
Who cares what time it is? As long as it's done, that's all that matters.
Hulu time is a real time, and I also live in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so talked about some struggles. Let's think about like kind of some positive stuff, or maybe not. I don't know. What is like one thing you would tell somebody who comes up to you and is like, I want to be an indie designer? Like it could be positive sometimes.
I mean, like when Rachel and I were reading this out to each other, then I also yelled, talk to a CPA! Which is terrible, but I mean, that's so huge.
Yeah.
That's one so I do some consulting work on the side for people who want to start just fashion brands. It doesn't have to be Lolita, just fashion brands in general. And that is like one of the top questions I get people asking me is like business questions, like straight up like, oh, I don't know how to do my own taxes, or like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, how do I, at first when they say taxes, I always think like resellers tax for whatever reason. Like that's where my head goes. Cause like, you don't worry about tax till the end of the year. So like when everyone's like, I don't understand how to do tax stuff. I'm like, oh, you mean like getting your resellers permits? Like that's not that bad. Depends on your state, blah. And I was like, what you really need to know is your business formation. And then I get the, what's a business formation? And I'm like, you really need to talk to a CPA like right now. Like right now.
Well, that was part of our general partnership issue. We never actually like filed anything officially with the state of Virginia. And so we're like, well, actually Virginia doesn't know that we exist. So I think we need to make ourselves an LLC and they will know that we're here now.
Yeah, I mean that's just hard. Like I went to take some like small business classes, so I like understood what in the state of Georgia the business formations were. The ones in California are completely different, of course, and they're completely crazy. So
Right.
yeah, it's one of those things like you really need to talk to a CPA in your state that you are filing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's really important. That's like definitely number one question I get when people are talking about the creative stuff.
And now the other thing I would say too is like a lot of indie designers, you guys do this by yourself. Like I know, Sweet Mildred, Paulina from Egato, like Puvi, you're a single people designer. You run the whole shebang. Like we started as the two of us, and honestly, it's only gotten easier over the years as we've gathered more people into the Belladonna team. And if you're gonna start something like this, find at least someone who is going to be able to help you in whatever capacity it is that they can help you. They might not be able to sew and design with you, but they may be able to help you on the more business side of it. Whatever you can do to make your life incrementally easier,
Good advice for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I always, you always get those people like, oh, I want to start my own brand, and you're like, there's so much. I don't even know what to tell you in 5 minutes.
That one.
Yeah.
Like, where do you want to start discussing this?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. The more we've done this, the more I'm just like, I think back to like school, high school, how they were like, we're giving you all this work to prepare you for college, and how like college didn't have all this homework. And I'm just sitting here now like, high school prepared me for being a business owner.
Well, it's funny. It's a good way to think about it.
Well, and especially our high school, because like I mentioned earlier, we went to that, they called it the governor's school, and we had to apply for it. And
I see.
It was like, yes, and it was homework central. Like, I'm talking just like hours of papers every night, and I neither one of us could keep up with it, so we both dropped out.
Oh, neat. Yeah. Smooth. I understand. I totally understand. Oh my god. Yeah. It's a lot. Just like when I sit down and think about like all of the hats that you have to wear as you're like an indie designer.
Yeah.
Luckily for you guys, there's two of you, but like there's so much that you're doing all the time.
Yeah. And especially like you can it's one thing to just design, but it's like, okay, how do I get my name out there? Is it just strictly on the online space, or is it going to the conventions? There is that whole convention aspect to it of, we started out in Artist Alley tables, and we could fit everything into the back of my Honda Civic. And then eventually we were like, well, we're out of space. And so I got a Mazda 5, which is like a tiny minivan. And then eventually we ran out of space there too. And we were taking her car and my car. And then we were like, F it, let's get a trailer. And like, it's one of those things of like, do you have the space capacity? Do you have there's so many different aspects to any portion of running the business.
It's
not
so
just
true.
The design.
I mean, when I go like out of state cons, it's always such like a, how am I gonna do this? I was just thinking about doing Anime New York, and I was just like, if I do that again, I forgot how I even did it the last time. I couldn't remember it first, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have a friend in New York who I like Amazon Prime some grid wall. That's how I did that. Like I just didn't even think of I was like, how did I do this?
Oh, the time we flew out to PMX, we flew Southwest, so we got our 250
They are the best. If you were doing business stuff and you're like trying to take shit, Southwest is your best friend.
Yeah. So we essentially had 200 pounds of Lolita with us.
Oh my god, it's so true. That is like a secret tip.
Yeah.
And
that's definitely the best tip.
She still Amazon Prime some stuff to her aunt's house.
I did. Yeah, those are the 3 tips for people who want to start. Talk to a CPA, use Southwest, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
That's all you get. There you go.
Those are some good tips. They're really good ones.
They are.
Yeah, those are some secrets.
No.
Oh my god. I got my brain just turned off. Oh, I was gonna mention, speaking of like getting your name out there and stuff, how exciting was that photo shoot? You guys, I was so sad. I was supposed to send stuff for that, but I just got so busy and I couldn't do it. But
yeah, I mean, truly, that's more exciting for us. We did almost no work other than.
I know, right? I was like, I could have done this if I just had time.
Yeah. that was all on JC. Just
yeah, that's gonna be a great like launch and drop when it happens. Congratulations, guys!
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see it. It's gonna be so
cool.
like someone in the comments writing notes. Southwest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really so true, though. It's like two free bags, and you get to have a carry-on, and like the first check bag is like what, $70? Like if you have to pay for an additional one. Ooh, trust me, that's way cheaper than trying to ship a suitcase.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 50 pounds of shipping. That's a hefty. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I get my box from you guys for the pop-up, I'm always like, oh god, that's so much shipping.
Yeah. Well, and Michelle. Okay, so I don't know how she does it now because I'm not around most of the time. But when we used to send stuff, we would. She like, I don't know, has this like folding system where things end up like this big and then trails into the box and I sit on it and she takes it down.
Yes.
This is the thing. Like when I mentioned I had a boring retail job, I worked at Macy's and I could fold a fitted sheet back into its packaging and it looked like nobody touched it. So I learned.
Oh, you got some skills. You got those Marie Kondo.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. Her folding skills are next level. That's why there's so much junk compacted into those boxes.
I mean, but yeah, I get that for everyone. Like every brand that sends me stuff, except for the ones from like Japan. They put everything on hangers, you guys. It like shows up in like plastic on a hanger. I'm just like, wow. Okay, just put this on this. That's weird, but okay.
Makes that easy for you, but
it does. But like, I mean, I'm also fully prepared and used to whatever everybody else does. That's fine. But, so this cracks me up. The contrast.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like, you know, you get anything from Japan and it's like wrapped 5 times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They gotta stop with that. It's not sustainable, Japan. I love you, please. Not that much packaging. So, we talked a little bit about the new release. We talked a little bit about Ursa Major. We talked a little bit about your amazing photo shoot you just had. What are other plans you guys have for the near future? Maybe like kind of long-term goals.
Well, yeah, we've got these releases that we're working on. Sewing. We will probably re-release Ice Cream Shop again this year. Just depending on how many kind of open slots we have floating around. But yeah, do you want to hit it with the next thing that we have a million yards of fabric for?
Yeah, so like several years ago, I ordered one of our prints on chiffon, and then it's just been hanging out in my closet this whole time.
That happens.
Never been opened.
Yeah, it's the Rainbow Twinkle Jelly print that was the first print. It was actually the first Belladonna print.
It was the first Belladonna print, yeah.
Yeah, we did that. I did that back in 2013. Drew these cute little jellyfish, put them in the sky. Hasegawa-san had a fun time with that. When we saw him at some con, he's just like, oh, jellyfish in the sky.
It was AWA. We went to Georgia and for AWA when Putumayo came, and then he saw me wearing it, was like, oh.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah. I was very excited about jellyfish in the sky for some reason. I don't even know. But I was like, okay, we'll take that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see those. I don't think I've ever seen this print, so.
So yeah, that is after ice cream is done. We'll I'm gonna pick that fabric up and see how much I can blast through it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's so hard to tell like how much yardage everything is. I get so like, that is one of my least favorite things, is like trying to calculate yardage for projects and be like, how many units can I make? Especially when you like, doing sizes, you're like,
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the other thing too. It's like, do I guess how many sizes of which is gonna sell and just make them and then release it, or do we
that's
do
so hard.
pre-orders, or like
That's
that?
really hard. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
big time boo.
Yeah.
The wheel.
Otherwise, more long term, we're coming up on 10 years of Belladonna in a couple of years. So we had toyed around with doing something for 5 years and then just got busy, ill, child, what have you. And
life happened.
Life happened. And so, we kind of want to do something more major for our 10-year anniversary. So we aren't 100% sure what we want to do yet, but things are in the works for a 10-year Belladonna something.
I look forward to it, whatever it might be.
Well, I think last, like the 5-year one, we were toying around with the idea of a cocktail party, because we were like, well, we could have a tea party or we could have cocktails.
Yep. Yeah. That might still be the 10-year party. Come to our cocktail party.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Fuck yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to open it up really quick to see if there's any questions from our viewers, all 13 or 15 of them. Let them meditate on any questions they might have for you guys. But I just want to thank you for taking some time today, hang out with me.
You're welcome. I was going to see if I scroll up in here, the comments, and see if anybody's.
They're mostly just commenting on whatever we're talking about. There wasn't a specific question. I kind of like keep my eye on it because I got ADHD. Like, ooh, shiny. Ooh, shiny.
I was keeping an eye on it once you said about the comments tab, but when we do our streams, I stream them through YouTube, and so I open up the YouTube live stream and pull out the YouTube comments, as opposed to this was the first time that I had used this particular streaming software to do our live stream. Thanks to your suggestion, that made our lives a lot easier.
Oh, I'm glad. It's actually like something that Jay Finashe and On Demand uses, that we've used through them, and then that we were like, oh yeah, this is way easier for people to use who don't stream a lot. So definitely what we use for other people who don't. Otherwise, I use OBS because I'm a nerd. Kitty Kaya, what is your favorite Lolita event you've attended? Woo. That's the question.
No.
Lolita event. I think.
I know. I'm just like, wait, what Lolita event have I attended?
I mean, honestly, PMX was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun, and I was like really tired, but also having a great time.
We had so much fun. That room that they put all the J fashion in was just like super intimate, and like I don't know how sales were for other people. They weren't fantastic for us, but they weren't terrible. But it was just fun.
Yeah, it was like a fun time.
Is this like an event we attended as Belladonna, or just like personally?
And
you can do both.
I mean, as Belladonna, I know we had a great time at Akon when they invited us. That was some fancy, awesome stuff. And the whole Dallas Con is super cool. We love them.
They're a fantastic bunch of people. Yeah.
So that was
the fashion show that they produced was just well run. Everything. Yeah, Akon was a very good experience for us as designers of the entity of Belladonna. Yeah.
I guess my personal favorite, 2019 Techo, when AP was there, I went because, most of my closet's angelic pretty, and I didn't know AP Candy was going to be there, and she took a picture of my feet, and then I cried at her, and I just kind of sobbed, like, I love AP so much, and the translator was kind of like, what do I tell you, AP Candy? And I just kind of stood there like, sorry, I'm weird, and I ran away.
I had a fangirl moment, then I had to go. My people needed me.
So, now she's like retiring from Angelic Pretty, and I'm just like, I'm so glad I got my moment to cry at AP Candy.
Sweet.
And like meeting Amaikira was super cool too, but whatever.
Whatever.
Mostly just finding out that she really likes true crime dramas as much as I do.
That's fun. I love it.
Very sweet.
I think one of my other favorite like Lolita events was probably Poopy's wedding. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
It was like a lot of unexpected shenanigans.
It was.
Shenanigans. It was a good time.
Yeah. It was a good time, Poopy.
Good time. Yeah. And then Dragon Con was right afterwards.
Wow.
I stuck around. I think I was in town for 2 whole weeks. So it was the week before. And then the week after I was like, what's the point in going home for 5 days and paying airfare? I'm staying at my mom's house, so whatever.
Yeah.
That's
fun. Dragon Con is an experience, man.
It's an experience. I don't know if I think they're going to do it this year, and I was like, this year's a hard pass for me. I love you guys, but there is no way.
No, I went once. Okay. Actually, I went once with my husband and Michelle's ex, without Michelle. And all we did was cosplay the whole weekend. And it was a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. And I've decided that if I go anymore, I'm not working. I don't work Dragon Con. I just go for fun.
Yeah. No, that seems way too stressful to work. It was stressful to attend.
I was it's not that it's stressful. It's just I'm so tired because the hours.
Yeah.
Of, when they open, and then Dragon Con's a 24-hour con. I got places to be because I'm jet lagged, and it's 3 a.m, and I'm like, it's barely midnight to my body, whatever. So I'm going, and this is great. I could be up at Dragon Con till 5 or 6 in the morning. They're like, oh, you got to be on a 10 a.m. shift. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So I had to stop doing that and be like, if you need something or if someone's sick, you guys want to call me in, because we still work with the Lolita Collective. Right. I'm happy to go over there, guys, and if you guys need food, you need someone to bring you snacks, I got you. You need help setting up, breaking down, I'm here for that too. But I will not be working the booth. Just can't do it anymore. I just want to go have fun and see people and take photos and experience things. Speaking of Lolita Collective, you guys still working with them, or?
We haven't really lately. No.
I mean, it's hard to keep stock with multiple places. I totally get it.
That's mostly it.
Yeah, for a while it was, we don't have the time to go to all these conventions because we were both working Amazon, and we get paid time off, but we get a very finite amount every year. And so it was an easy way for us to, get our product out to people in person.
Yeah.
And then, But then we just didn't have a lot of product.
Yeah, it's hard when you're indie. Right now I'm starting to have problems with not having enough product to put in other places I want to. I list, I list stuff on their website that is kind of it's been on my site for a while, it's not moving great. That happens on a one time you come up with something, maybe made too many of them. They're a great avenue for that, but it's not a lot of stuff that ends up like that right now. So
right, and that's the thing is we didn't used to have great website sales either, but this year we've had so many amazing repeat customers that we're blown away, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of increase on online shopping and traffic in general. So it's been really hard. So I love supporting them. They supported us for so long that I definitely want to make sure I try and help them out and send them new product. But it's just very hard to keep up with all of it. But once con season gets back on the road, I don't like to go to a lot of cons on the East Coast. It's just too expensive. They do that. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
solves a lot of my problems for the East Coast market, who I want to reach. So, yeah.
Honestly, I think that was a lot of us for the West Coast market.
Yeah, well, they were doing some of the West Coast cons for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I hope we can do Fanime again, and I hope you'll be here. I know Michelle wanted to come out to California, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love it. Yeah, I wish. Just not this year, but maybe next year.
Yeah.
We hope. We all hope. What a year 2020 was. So many hopes and dreams, so many expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone else. I was gonna go to Dragon Con 2020, but we all know how that turned out.
Oh.
Yeah. That's pretty much everything about last year. Like, I had plans to X, and we all know how that turned out.
Yo.
I would say though, like whenever we do go to a convention, we're gonna bring the most clothing we've ever had at a convention ever in the history of all of this.
We have very notoriously been bad about having a variety of clothing to sell at conventions. It'll be like, oh, we have like 5 dresses.
Yeah, it'll be like 5, literally.
Yeah, I mean, you know, indie life, you can't sell that much shit.
Right, well, and then we'll share a booth with Millie from Sweet Mildred, and she's like, I have 700.
Oh my god, whenever Sweet Mildred does something, like, and sends us a box, I'm just like, wow, so many dresses. I have 5.
Yeah, she rolls up to the convention, and we're just like, this is our rack. We have 10, maybe, if that. And she's like, here's my racks. And we're just like,
so impressive.
You take as much space.
Super impressive every time. Yeah, I'm just so like, whoa, that's a lot of dresses. Dang. And they're really cute shit.
Oh, yeah, they're very cute.
Yeah.
She's got a great eye for fabric. And yeah.
I'm always just, that's definitely the box when I open it. I'm always just like, dang, there's just so many in here. What the hell? Oh man. So for us, we're gonna probably stop doing as many online events. But we're doing the holiday pop-up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more in-person events again. And you know, hopefully we'll get to see you guys around.
Yeah.
With it.
Well, and especially with me being full-time Belladonna, I'm ready to con.
Yeah. I like the hype for the holiday pop-up in the chat. Yes, holiday pop-up.
Yay! Oh, I see Jordana's watching.
Yes, we love Jordana. That's another person who can just come visit me anytime. Anytime. Oh my gosh. Well, is there anything you guys want to say, share, tell me stories about? Show me your cats.
Show me your cats. I don't know if any of my cats are up here.
He looks like he's sulking.
Aw.
He's been there all day.
He's so sleepy. It's hard being a cat.
I know.
It's so difficult. It's so tough.
The cats have evacuated. They're like, oh no, there's voices.
That's
well, actually, Clover hates Rachel with like an intense passion. So like I'm sure she's
such
just,
a
like
brat. I love Clover. She's the prettiest baby, but she is an asshole, and I love it. She's just like specifically, I'm beautiful.
Specifically
you
to
can't
Rachel.
talk to me.
Specifically extra super duper an asshole to me. But so here's the story. She was doing really good when I very first met her, and she was a kitten, and she was real sweet, and I was, being nice, and I was like, okay, I think she's comfortable. So I baby picked her up and was just like, baby, 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 and then she freaked out and has hated me ever since.
Oh my god, she's such a brat.
Oh no, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Because, like, Megan and I have done that to her whole life, and she doesn't freak out at us.
Nope.
Brat.
Yeah.
Brat.
I did manage to give her treats one of the more recent times I was at Michelle's house, and she didn't hiss at me, but she's also been on some new meds. So.
Yeah, she's medicated. She's medicated, so she's not only a little more chill, but she's also round.
Yeah.
Good. You know what?
She's very round.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If it fills her out, she's such a brat. It's amazing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I just have old men cats that scream at you all the time.
I mean, old man cats are hilarious too. I love them.
They're going senile as heck.
That's one of my favorite type of cat. Is old man cat.
Like 15, and he's just like, I'm just all skin and bones. Feed me. I'm like, you have some food. Feed me. Okay, fine. You need more food. You're
more food, mother. My bowl. I can see the bottom.
Yeah. And then this one here, I have to wake him up every night when I go up to bed, because if I don't wake him up and tell him I'm going to bed, he stands downstairs and screams until I tell him I'm upstairs. I'm like, hey, I'm upstairs. And he's like, oh, and he comes upstairs.
I used to have an old man cat, and he would sit in the middle. Like, we had like a foyer, you know, and like it would tall ceiling, like 2-floor ceiling room, and he would just sit in that room and be like, Mom! And then you'd be like, I'm over here, stupid! And he'd be like, oh!
Yep, that's exactly what happens. But so I kind of like nudge him and give him a little pet and wake him up, and I'm like, I'm going upstairs to bed, buddy. And he's like, okay. And then he'll still just yell if he doesn't see me.
It's cold.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes. One of my cats is named Sam, which always leads to weird moments when we talk about him because of our manager friend, Sam. And so we try and call him Sammy. So now the 3-year-old is like, no, his name's not Sam. His name is Sammy.
Oh,
okay.
Geez.
Got
just
it.
Like Sam, the cat.
The cat. Well, and she also has...
Where's Bratty baby? She hates it. She hates it so much.
She hates everything.
Who hates it? Why are you doing this to me, mother?
Hello. Hi.
Oh yes.
Here we can make it big. I can do that.
All cat.
There we go.
Cat.
All cat all the time.
She's so upset. She's like, why?
Yeah, why, mother? Why have you done this to me?
Is she gutturally meowing at you yet?
No, not saying anything at all. That's how upset she is.
Just grumping into. She's just gonna.
Yeah. Whenever I go over there, Megan tries to make her be friends with me, and she'll just sit in Megan's arm and be like, Wah!
Yeah, I've definitely heard her because, like, Mia went to the vet and smelled like the vet, and Megan filmed her being like, "You have smell like the bad place."
Yeah,
she's just like, ugh.
She's just like, argh.
Like Mia's on drugs because she got some work done, and she's just like, "Why are you so mean to me, sister?" She's just drunk as hell. And meanwhile, Clover's like, "You're the bad place." Sorry, I was laughing. It was such a good video. I loved it. Every time Megan shares those kind of videos, like, damn, I wish these were public so I could send them to all my friends. I think about it a lot. There she goes. God. Bye, sassy baby. So sassy. So baby.
Bye, sassy baby. She didn't even go that far. Now she's just looking at me like,
why did you capture me?
Yeah, what was that about, you weirdo?
Like she literally came down the stairs all of a sudden. I was like, oh, now's my chance.
Oop.
Yo.
I don't know where the other ones are, but there was one.
Oh, well. Well, is there anything else you guys think would be worth mentioning? Excuse me. I got some dust in my throat.
I will say, I store a lot of our clothing in the floor where my workspace is. And Clover specifically is a really bizarre cat and will like try and eat anything string or ribbon like not just play with it, I mean like chew on it. So anytime I have dresses with corset lacing, I have to like tie them up and shove the ribbons like in the dress so she can't get to stuff, because she will literally just go under there and be like,
She also loves to sit in petticoats.
Oh yeah, I know about the petticoats.
Yeah.
I have a really great story about string and a cat, if you want one.
I have all my Lolita in a closet that the doorknob doesn't work, so it just can like swing open or close. And so we have to put a box in front of it so my cats don't go in there and like sleep on the bottoms of all my dresses.
Those kitties.
I'm like, here, just put this box in front. And then one time I forgot to put the box back, and my husband's yelling like, the cats are in the closet again. And then they fight in the closet because they don't get my two dudes don't really get along very well, and and so they're constantly fighting with each other. But yeah, they will fight in the Lolita closet, and I'm just like,
no, it's not where you do the fighting, okay, boys.
Yeah.
Michelle, here's my great story about a cat who ate string.
Oh no.
I used to work at a atelier, and she would bring home like work projects every once in a while. They had a cat and it ate some string. They didn't know about it until
it came out.
Came out the backside, but the string was still stuck inside it. So it was like trailing, and the cat was terrified that something was chasing it.
You're supposed to cut it off and wait for the rest of it to go.
Well, so like it was just running around, being like, "My poop is chasing me."
Clover's done that to us before. The first time she did that, we were packing to leave for KatsuCon, and all of a sudden I see Clover and she's running around in a circle. And I'm like, that's weird because Mia chases her own tail, but this is Clover. Clover doesn't chase her own tail. And then I realized that she's got some hanging out her back end and she's trying to fight it.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, this cat was just terrified and was just like running like, ah! What is chasing me? It's chasing me. It's not chasing you, you fool. It's hanging out of you. Come back. Come here. Let me help you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I miss having a cat, but I don't miss having a cat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I get to live vicariously through you guys. I get to look at all your cute kitty videos, and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
And the cat cafe. There's one like a few blocks from my house. So if you ever come visit, I can take you to the cat cafe.
Yeah.
Place is dangerous.
It's a dangerous place.
It's
it's a dangerous place.
Because last time I went there and it was like cat nap time, and I almost blacked out because there were like 12 very sleepy kitties in their little kitty like beds, and they were just all like chill, snoozing. And I was like, shit, I want to snooze too. One of the cat's names is Burger, and he's the best boy. Burger. I love him so much. If they would let me take that cat home with me, I would. But they're not up for adoption.
Oh, that's weird.
They have cats that are, but they have dedicated cafe cats that have been like socialized.
And they know that they're good in the that makes sense.
Yeah. They have like the adoptable cats are different than the ones that are like out being with people because they've been socialized to be with people and be petted all the time. They can't just rotate those out all the time because, by the time you get one cat adjusted, it'd be gone.
Yeah. No, I was saying my grandpa cats would, they'd be terrible there.
Yeah. They're kitty employees.
They're employees. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love cats. We could talk about cats forever. Even though that's not what we're supposed to be talking about.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, if there's no other further questions in the chat, I'm happy to wrap this up. We've been talking for an hour, even though it felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah, this was fun.
I know. I love having you guys. I thank you again for making some time. I know we're all getting ready for Ursa Major, so it's just like a lot. But thank you
for hosting.
Yeah. I'm glad to hang out with you guys.
All right.
All right, guys, we're gonna hang out in the back room. What? Oh, yes, invite me to the Discord.
Yes, come join our shenanigans.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much,
Yes,
everybody.
thank you.
Bye.
See ya.